I just find the whole place so incredibly pathetic that I will end up laughing so hard because it's like being in a circus and there's no ringmaster and everything's out of control, and sometimes it just cracks me up to the point you have to laugh in crazy situations, and I will just laugh because I'm like, the absurdity of this place. They think they are so important. They think they're so much better than everyone. They believe that everything they're doing is got to be done. It's the most righteous thing. It's critical to do it. And they look like fools. It's like being on a ship of fools. And I do not respect Washington, and I do not respect it because I see it as I look at that Capitol and it looks like a glass castle to me. It looks like a glass castle and it's empty. It's empty of anything good. And so I have no respect for it because of what they've done to our country, what they have done to the American people.
Marjorie Taylor Greene was talking with this Catholic group called Church Militant, and she was speaking about how much she hates Washington, D.C. And now throughout that entire time that she was speaking about how much she hates D.C., you probably can't come up with anything that she said that has a reason. It's a glass house. They think they want to do things. They have this righteous thing where they think they're just going to pass this law and it's going to be the greatest thing ever. Yeah, that's kind of what legislators do. They pass laws and they think that it's going to do things for the country. And by the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene, you have been elected. You're now a part of that. So as much you want to say they, you are they. Now, Donald Trump did that as well, and it worked out. That's why she's going through all this. But she also did her own version of a Donald Trump, talking about how smart she is and how she wants to be thought of as smart. Trump just did this last week too at his rally. Watch this.
They don't really know me. And the reason why they don't know who I truly am is because the media created a character of me, and that's the character that they want to present to the American people. They don't want the American people to know that I'm a wife, mother, and that I think being a mother is the best part of my life. They don't want the American people to understand that I'm actually very smart, successful in business, great with strategy, and very passionate and committed to serving in Congress, but actually changing the way Congress works. Mm-hmm. And the media just doesn't want anyone to know that. They don't want anyone to like me.
Why?
Well, because if they like me, then my ideas and policies and legislation will be successful. And the media is America last.
That's the media. It's America last. They don't want me to have all these things. By the way, she must be remembered as smart and intelligent, yet she has issues with martial law. Watch this.
So you didn't advocate, right now you never advocated martial law, that President Trump should use martial law to stop, the transition of power. You never advocated for that, did you?
I don't recall ever advocating for martial law. I don't know if you have that up on the screen right now because I can't see it. But if you put that text message up, it's clear and easy to read that if that's my text messages and that's what they're reporting, I don't recall if they are. But if they are, those text messages do not say calling for martial law. That it says I don't know about that.
Now.
Yeah, no, it doesn't say that. Now, there's Marjorie Taylor Greene now answering the same question that she also didn't answer when she's in that court proceeding about whether or not she's going to be allowed to be put back on the ballot, considering that she potentially participated and supported an insurrection against her own country. So there she is, not recalling things more and more. Again, Laura Ingraham kind of wants to dig in further, but it seems that she's like, this is only going to get worse, and I'm going to catch hell for continually to expose Marjorie Taylor Greene. So that continues on. Now, she can't even recall whether or not she texted Mark Meadows about martial law. Weird how that works, because here's some of the context of those texts that we did see that she can't seem to recall. In mid-January of 21, just days before President Joe Biden's inauguration, Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia texted then House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows to tell him some GOP members of Congress had privately suggested former Trump should declare martial law. Spelled correctly there. According to text obtained by CBS News and first reported on CNN, Greene testified last week that she does not recall whether she encouraged the president to impose martial law. Quote, in our private chat with only members, several are saying the only way to save our republic is for Trump to call for martial law, is what Greene wrote to Meadows on January 17th. I don't know on those things. I just wanted to tell him they stole this election. We all know they will destroy our country next. Please tell him to declassify as much as possible so we can go after Biden and anyone else. Go after them how? Not sure how that works considering you're talking about martial law right now. What are the ways you plan on going after Biden and anyone else? Sounds like some good legal background there. She can go off more. That is one of the multiple texts that Green sent to Meadows in the post-election period around January 6th. Green also told Meadows that we think the people who assaulted the Capitol on January 6th, quote, are Antifa, dressed like Trump supporters. We know that they were saying that as well. But Lisa, in this thing, that does tell us that she really believed that line of BS. I thought they were just pushing the Antifa and the BLM were actually Trumpers with flags and t-shirts that they bought all this stuff just to look like Trumpers and also go to his stupid rally beforehand and then walk down to the Capitol and do all that because that makes sense. So she really believes that, so she's just as dumb as we thought. Lastly, Green, who's fighting a challenge by constituents to block her from appearing on this Georgia ballot, as I mentioned, testified in that administrative hearing on Friday that she doesn't remember whether she encouraged the president to impose martial law as a way to remain in power. Let's look at that really fast because she couldn't recall there either. Remember this?
Ms. Green, did you advocate to President Trump to impose martial law as a way to remain in power?
I don't recall.